June 11th, 2023. The first day of CYIA. Teenagers and their families showed up one or two at a time. Most of them had a pretty good idea of what to do and what we expected at registration. Lots of hugs were given as friends reunited. Some of them only get to see each other a couple of times a year. Places were set up and organized in the rooms where we were all sleeping. Goodbyes were said to families before the teens eagerly went on to enjoy each other's company through impromptu games of basketball and volleyball. Before dinner, Chris welcomed everyone to CYIA and gave some quick expectations for the teens.
It's our first dinner, okay? So here's the thing at CYIA. Be on time, okay? So when dinner starts, we want you guys here a little bit before, so about 5-10 minutes, because we have a tradition here at CYIA that will be enforced once we start getting things. So you will learn more about that tradition later, all right? But what we're gonna do is, on this wall there is a list of teams. You guys are going to be in teams to help clean up after dinner is over. Okay, after every meal you will have your team. You will go in and clean up to help the cooks, since they are doing such a great job to feed you guys. We want to help them out. So, red team is first. And I'm going to let you guys discover who is on the red team.
On the same team again.
Yes, I'm on.
Look at that, I'm still green!
Blue Chris.
Got me! Who's still green?
Alright, so if your team is up first, that means that you get to go first in line to get your food, because you will have to be done eating sooner than everybody else. Alright? So with this go around, you guys can sit around these two tables wherever you want. Alright? We'll let you get to know each other, hang out before we start our next tradition with that one. Okay, but before we go, we're going to eat. Here, ladies first. So if there are ladies on your team, they get to go through the line first. And introduce yourselves to the cooks and helpers in the kitchen. Okay? Just say your name and that you're glad that they're here to cook. Because if not, it would have been me in there. Alright, Josiah, would you like to pray for the meal, please?
Yeah. Dear Lord, thank you for today and for everything good. Just thank you for this opportunity to come together to now put on these VBSs and now share the gospel. Just thank you for this food, and thank you for the cooks and just their willingness to come in and serve us. Just thank you, Lord. In your name, amen.
Before we jump into the rest of the day, I want to introduce you to everyone. On the staff is Chris and Megan Peabody, Josiah Orluck, and me, Lauren Grinder. Usually, I'm behind the camera. We brought in a speaker from CEF headquarters named John Romano. He brought his grandson Tell along. The CYIAers are Angela, Bethany, Bryce, Gwen, Isaac, Caitlin, Lenora, Logan, Maddox, Michaela, Noelle, and Rebecca. After dinner, the teens had their first class, welcoming them to CYIA and introducing them to the ministry of CEF and what we do.
Trust God without boundaries. How many of you guys coming to this, you had to trust God a little bit? Okay, some of you. How many of you have had to trust God in something this year to where you didn't know how it was going to turn out? Okay? We want to trust God. We want to trust God in everything. You hear me? Trust God without boundaries to increase our ability as a ministry to impact the lives of children by initiating ministry through the local church. So all summer long, you guys are going to be going out on teams to a local church to help that body of believers reach the children in their community. So not only are you guys going to be working with kids, you're going to be working alongside churches and people in those churches to encourage them. Maybe that's why God will have you at a specific church this summer, is to reach the kids, but also to encourage those people. We all have somebody we look up to. Kids look up to you guys. They think it's cool that you guys, as teens, would take time to come and hang out with them, to have fun with them, to play with them. And if you're there loving on them, sharing with them, they listen to you. So this is why we want you guys to be involved. But not only that, is it gives you guys the opportunity as teens to start stepping out in faith on your own and making faith real to yourselves. Because let me ask you this, are you guys scared to go out and teach some kids? How many of you are scared to be sitting there and having an adult, a pastor, listening to you teach? That can be a little intimidating, okay? But here's the thing though, is this is where you gotta trust God. Make faith real to you. Start studying, preparing, learning so that when you guys go out to college, your faith is real. So when those professors start trying to convince you otherwise, you've seen God working. And you guys are going to see God work this summer. You might be used by God to lead a little child to Christ. And that is very cool to be a part of. You might be the person who teaches the memory verse, which causes a kid to think and then go back and talk to the Bible lesson teacher. You might be the one who teaches the song and applies it to that child's life to just the way God has you word it, to where it impacts that child's life so they come and ask questions. Every part of this VBS that you guys do, you play a part in that child's life. And that's really what our heart is for this ministry. It's been unlocked, but we've took it a step further and now it's the Unlock Challenge. We're challenging you guys this summer to make faith yours, to live life on mission, as you guys see on your covers there. And we're going to be talking about in our chapel times and in our day of consecration what that kind of looks like. Okay? So that's what you guys can be expecting here this next couple weeks, is to be thinking about. Even during the summer, we've got devotionals for you guys to be a part of. That's going to be talking about how do we live this life on mission. So welcome to our Teen Unlock Challenge program. Because let me guess, do you guys kind of feel like you get looked down on for being teenagers? Sometimes. But here's the thing, more often than not, what we hear pastors say when you guys come and you teach a VBS, they are shocked. Because they kind of have an expectation of a teen. And you guys break that. We want to make sure you guys know what you're doing, okay, with the VBS, so that you can be used by God to impact these people's lives, okay? And it's a highly trained team. Can you guys say that? What is it? Oh, come on. Do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Highly trained team.
There you go. But that requires some knowledge. And the dreaded word. What's that word in parentheses? Practicums. Okay, here's the thing. When we teach you guys how to do something, like how to share the gospel with kids, once you have studied and you learn it, we want you to come and you're going to share the gospel with one of the leaders. And you will either get well done, or let's try that again. Okay? Because we want you to know it. We want you to do good. And it's not because if you get a let's try it again, we want you to just work on something to make it better. Okay? Because we want you guys to succeed. It's not that you've failed. You guys don't fail here. It's well done. Let's try again. Okay? And you will have practicums on everything. And unfortunately, how many of you guys are already tired? Okay? You will get tired here. But that's okay. Okay? I want you guys to know that. But we want you guys to do your best. With our training, there are different tracks. And each one, if you look on the cover of your binder, it lets you know which track you are in. Okay? There's junior, basic, advanced, D1s, and D2s, and interns. Those are the tracks that you guys can go on with ministry here in the summer, okay? And each one has a little bit different things that you have to do for practicums, okay? If you guys look up there, each one is broken down with what practicums you guys have to do for your track, okay? So if you're in the junior, you got to do the wordless book, song and memory, verse I pair, review game time, prayer time, and word up. Those are the practicums that we ask you to finish, okay? Basic, oh, they covered it up, look at that. Wordless book, missionary story, review games, prayer time, word up, song and memory verse I pair. Is basic, okay? And if you finish those, here's the thing, as you guys can see, each one you kind of go up in what you're going to do. But here's the thing, if you finish your track, say by next Monday, you're all done, you just don't stop there. You can move on to the next track and try to finish those, okay? So, if you're in the junior track and you finish, you can start learning the missionary stories. If you're in the basic, you finish all that, you can start learning the Bible lessons. Okay? Advanced, once you've finished, okay, you can come to me and I'll show you a little bit different way of how to do the Bible lessons. Alright? D1s, you're going to be getting all of that. Plus a little bit more.
We also gave them their ministry kits. These contain everything they will need to study, prepare, and successfully do their part in a VBS. We took a break to play a game to get to know each other.
Rebecca and Isaac are your neighbors.
Yeah,
yes.
they are.
They are your neighbors.
Hello.
And I want you to tell me something about both of them. Something they have in common.
They are both, they are siblings.
They are siblings. So, that's a weird one.
Well, no, they are.
That's true. But like,
We do have a couple siblings here.
there are a couple siblings here. So if you have a sibling here, then what would happen is you get up and have to go to a different chair. Hold on a second though. You can't go to the chair right next to them. Alright? And you can't sit down in the chair you left them, alright? You gotta go to the chair at least 2 chairs away. Okay? Alright. So, let's do that one. How does it start? You just...
You go out to your neighbor.
Them, say their name, and ask them.
What's your name?
What?
Do you love your neighbor, Glenn?
Yeah, I do. I love Isaac and Rebecca because they're siblings.
They're siblings! Cool. Alright, now siblings, get up and put your tongue out.
It's a game that most of them have played before, yet they still squirm at the idea of saying that they love each other. It gives us a good idea of where the teens are at. Do they respond to the discomfort by just pushing through, or do they try to make light of it with sarcasm and jokes?
Remember, encourage. Grab that.
Do you love your sister?
I do. I love Gwen just because she is such a
Yes, I do love my neighbor.
Bryce, do you love your neighbor?
Yeah.
Who are your neighbors?
They're Rebecca. They're all redheads. It's Isaac and Bethany.
Rebecca, do you love your neighbors?
That hesitation.
Yes.
Do you love your neighbor? Yes, I love you. I kind of want to cry.
In the end, everyone was laughing and smiling at the fun and chaos of the game. One of the teenagers arrived several hours late because her family was traveling back from Louisiana, having just moved back to Montana from there. She had to draw something out of her bucket to push her out of her comfort zone as a result.
Good draw.
Great.
No, you do not want to. And if it is a group share, we can people off. You know it. Lauren!
What?
She needs your assistance.
She picked the frog song? Alright.
What's that rock song?
Please,
a rock song.
Okay, you don't know the words, but you can listen to the words. Unless you do know it. Okay, all other questions yet. We will do it twice. Okay, so it goes, when the little green frog went day. When the little green frog. When the little green frog went day. Everybody went, beep, beep, with the little red duck one day. Split, splat, with the little green frog. And I don't know anymore, cause they all got eaten by a dog.
We went back to the classroom for one more class before the end of the night. This one was about living in community and how to act and behave both at CYIA and at host homes during the summer. But we didn't just give them rules to be followed. Chris went back to the heart, and that our actions go back to our view of God and how much we respect Him, which in turn will affect how much we respect others. The day ended with some free time before some discussion time in our rooms. The teens were excited to see the rest of the week and eager to start learning. They seemed to really love being here, despite the hard work they know is coming.